Hello and welcome to the Social Recruiting Show, where I, Katrina Collier, and my fellow social recruiting specialist, Audra Knight, chew the fat on everything to do with social media, recruitment, and God knows what else we feel like talking about. Welcome to the final one for 2015, where we're honoured to be joined by Jose Watson, finally, we should say.
Yes.
A few technical issues yesterday, who reckons that we can do recruitment better, and I think he's right, and is also rather handy with a GIF. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, Jose, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Lowe's? And I can imagine you must have a lot of open positions.
I do. I have an insane amount of open positions. But for them, I am a recruiter. I cover the Eastern New Mexico and West Texas stores is what I focus on. So any area positions down is what I focus on for them. Because it happens to be a very rural area, social media is where I get about 20 to 30% of my candidates.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how do you go about doing that? Is that like actual digging in, like what I call the social sourcing piece, or is it advertising, or what do you do?
We do. Of course, we do advertising, and we do, paid advertising through Twitter and Facebook and that kind of thing. But most of it is just interacting with individuals within certain areas to try to get the Lowe's name out there. And then once these positions become available, we can just, once we already have this communication going on, we simply happen to, in conversation online, say, hey, there's this position open.
Yeah.
And that's how we get a lot of our candidates come in.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
So like selling communities, basically, right?
What's that?
So how do you keep track of the people? If there's not an open position, how do you keep their information?
From Twitter, I do tons of lists. Most of them are private. I probably have 17 public and the rest are private. And I have,
I wonder what private lists we're on, Audra.
I've got a couple.
I so want to know now.
I keep track of all the influencers within these communities, even though the communities are usually less than 200,000 people is what I keep up with. And so there's people who are very active on social media in these areas, and I keep up with them, keep communication up with them because they're the most connected in each one of these communities.
So because I know you were trying to convince me Snapchat was quite useful. So I just have to ask, So, I mean, do you think it actually has its place? I mean, you're young, you're trying to attract young, so.
Yeah. I think absolutely. I think you're only going to see it grow next year. I think this year it was able to change from, the negative views of Snapchat. We saw that kind of transition starting in June, July, where it transitioned from being this negative thing where, I'm sure you've heard the stories to where it changed.
No, tell me, fill me in. People who are listening have no idea.
Okay, well, it started where it was just mostly for sending nude snaps, pretty much. That's what it was. Nude snaps. Nude snaps. Yeah, pretty much. And don't look at that hashtag because it's out.
Really? Oh god, I so want to know.
But in about June, July, Snapchat was able to change to where it was more of a common nude snaps. It became.
Go look. I'm shocking.
I'm saying, don't do it. Don't do it. But anyways, it changed over from being nude snaps to being more this one-on-one engagement community that was able to start being built up. And so I only think next year it's going to be great. And one of the ways I use it, it's very difficult to do any kind of direct sourcing from Snapchat. But one way I use it is to improve the candidate experience.
Okay. How?
Well, I was at a career fair at a college, and I noticed people using the Snapchat app on their phones. I could tell the difference of what they were using, and so I was like, you know what? The next career fair I'm at, I'm going to try and incorporate the Snapchat thing into my booth. So I set it up. I had prints of all my Snapchat username. Encouraged everyone who came by and talked to me, follow me on Snapchat. If you have any more questions, snap back at me, and that way. And after that career fair, I had about 15 individuals reach out to me, ask about, simple things like how to apply or, just questions about a position or about working with the company. And I think that was moments like, you know what, I'm going to use this to improve the candidate experience. To me, it made sense to how I'm going to incorporate that into my recruiting strategy.
Do you know, it's amazing how often I'll see on a LinkedIn page, like LinkedIn company page, how do I apply?
Yeah,
it kind of fascinates me when there's a big jobs tab, but
yes, and that's probably the most
strange. You kind of think
question.
It would be obvious. I know, but why?
Yeah, I wish I knew why, because I think I put our address, our landing page for our career site is on every single piece of material we put out there. Even on the tweets I tweet about it, there's a direct link to that landing page on how to apply. But still, it's the most common question. Have
you seen, Arthur's got a good one here. Arthur O'Malley, thank you, welcome. Do you accept resumes through Twitter?
I do. I think it'd be foolish not to accept them through Twitter. That's usually where if I get a resume or a resume link or a video link to a video resume, I'll look through it and go from there, have a conversation and encourage them to go through the landing page, because everyone does have to go through our applicant tracking system.
So do you get a lot of video resumes?
I've probably gotten more over the last 3 months than I have before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a changing thing where we're seeing more of that, but I've gotten more over the last 3 months than I have my whole career as a recruiter.
And are they pretty formal, or are they like a snap?
No, they're usually formal, where they send a embedded video in an email or a link to a YouTube video.
Oh wow, really?
Mm-hmm. You see that?
Great.
That's unusual. I like it.
It is unusual, but it's one of those ways I think individuals are trying to help themselves stand out, because we do, for any rec I have out there, I probably get 50 people apply to it. And so it's just another way to get someone to stand out.
I'm being really rude, but I'm trying to find an article I shared yesterday, which was on exactly that, and somebody commented on it.
Yeah. Another good question about this is someone else asked, how long are the videos? Yeah, I was curious too.
I think the longest I've seen was about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So to me, that's still a little on the long side.
Less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a little on the long side. I think if you're going to make a video, 2 minutes is probably absolute max for a video.
So it's like an elevator pitch, basically, and how to contact you.
Pretty much. Give me a quick spiel on who you are, what position you're looking for, that kind of thing. Don't give me your life story. We'll save that for once we're further along in the interview.
Yep. I think that's really clever. One thing about Snapchat I think is interesting is how brands are actually having their own accounts now.
He's multitasking.
I can't help it. The opportunity called, so I had to take advantage of it.
But yeah, so many brands now are having Snapchat accounts, right? That's new.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I think it is. And our company brand has not yet moved there yet. It's in the works to try to figure out how they're going to leverage it.
Right.
But I think I am encouraging any brand, if the Snapchat's a platform for you, to do it now rather than wait.
Yeah.
Early adoption on any platform is key.
I need to read that beginner's guide you sent me, Audra.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. It's really embarrassing doing what I do, and I so can't do Snapchat. I can do all the rest of them beautifully. I think I'm getting too old. I think it's a demographic thing. Not you, Jose. You're supposed to be paying attention to all the questions.
I am.
I wonder if you get hooked. I didn't understand Twitter at first at all, and I was like, I don't have time. I don't get it. And now so it could be something like that where you started it and then you were just snapping all day, nudies everywhere.
I'm looking forward to our Twitter one coming up, actually, because there's just so many mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't there? So.
Well, see, Twitter, I didn't even really get started on until earlier this year. Yeah. I signed up for it years ago.
Yeah.
And signed up and forgot about it. And then I started getting links for following people on Twitter. And I was like, I really don't want to go to Twitter. It's another platform that I don't want to get started with. And it was probably the best decision I made.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that's why you're on this blab.
Yeah.
I mean, usually with somebody who's interacted with us on Twitter, because we tweet it more than we do anywhere else. I mean, my whole thing with LinkedIn is no one sees your updates anyway.
Right.
The settings. So That's, I think, why there's such a shift. I just wish that people would stop thinking of Twitter as a broadcasting platform. I mean, like Snapchat, it's not. You've got to build a following. It's got to be engaging and interesting.
I completely agree. It's all about inbound. You got to bring people to your brands rather than selling everybody to your brand. They'll come to you. Your community will build if you'll just provide those right opportunities.
Which is what Steph David has written here. Snapchat is imperative to any brand, including personal brand. Oh, well, my personal brand's just failed then.
I think you're doing good, though.
I'm doing fine on Twitter. Just don't ask me about Snapchat. What kind of a social recruiting specialist am I? But anyway, I'll learn. And what else do you think is going to be a great big trend next year?
Outside of Snapchat, I think we're going to see more companies move away from like job boards. I think job boards are still going to be absolutely. We're going to keep them because I think they're here for much longer. But you're going to see companies move away from just posting a position out into the open and praying that people apply. It's going to be a little bit more active of engaging these communities online, because that's where most of the digital generations are moving to, not just millennials or Generation X, Y, whatever, but just this whole group of digital generations are, being mobile ready on your landing pages. I mean, that's something that needs to be done now.
Is Lois doing that?
I promoted.
Oh yeah, let's look them up.
I know. I promoted being mobile first platforms a long time ago, but I have to say it's only been the last, I think we switched over the last 5 months. 5 months ago is when we switched over to being a mobile first platform.
Yeah.
Because that was the most frustrating thing, is to have candidates call me or text me saying, hey, I'm trying to apply, but it's not working on my cell phone. I know.
So like seamlessly now, you can really...
Yeah, now the full application can be done from your cell phone.
Nice.
But I mean, that's what it should be. Whether you're emailing them or getting them on social, they're going to look on their phone. I mean, it's just daft. I was talking to a potential new client, and I actually said, like, let's just do the training later, because no one's going to be able to apply it this time, and you're going to get really frustrated. Their system is so bad, it actually boots them out altogether. Oh, no. So you go through the search and you get to one point, and then you get to the next point and you're back at the beginning of the search. It's like, there is no point even trying, because you're just going to get frustrated. But the worst thing is they're looking for technical people, and because the internet's their playground, so because they're going to get particularly frustrated, and they're going to think, well, what's the tech like in the company? I mean, it's all
right.
I know, it's crazy.
I know. Well, especially a company like mine, we're such a huge company, and for us not to have we're a Fortune 50 company. I think we have over 10,000 employees, well over 10,000 employees.
Are you just in the US or?
We're in Canada, US, and Mexico.
So North America.
Yeah, pretty much just North America.
What ATS do you use, or is it varied depending on?
No, it's the brass ring, I believe, is what it is now.
Yeah, that's a common one.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's big over
I
here.
don't get too much in that space though. I'm more of the get them to the door.
Putting y'all on my Snapchat. So
I'm loving the green phone cover.
I know, it's got to stand out, or I'll lose it.
I thought that was a female thing. We dropped them in our handbag, never to be seen again, which is quite cool. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, the whole title of our blab today is all about doing recruitment better. So where do you think we should be starting besides mobile job applications?
I think it starts with our initial contact. I feel a lot of our, well, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, is that when I first started recruiting, I was just my goal was just to fill the recs, get as many applicants I can to fill a rec, and then walk away from it, move on to the next one that I had to focus on. Yeah. And I think that was a huge mistake I made when I first started, and it hurt our recruiting for a while until I was able to recognize, hey, I'm messing up. So just that initial contact where you give a candidate the full cycle of what their candidate experience is going to be like. Right. What to expect on every single step. Make sure it's clear and there's no surprises. And then after that, it's all about communication. Yeah. My candidates can reach out to me in almost any platform. I mean, Twitter, LinkedIn, they have my email, texting. I get text all the time from my candidates. And of course, Snapchat.
Yeah. Are you WhatsApping as well then?
What's that?
Yeah. Are you on WhatsApp as well then? Yeah. I love WhatsApp.
Yeah. Yeah, so do I.
Well, for my iMessage people like Audra Knight iMessage. It's nice knowing people have read it. Such a stalker. So it does help.
If you find someone when you're sourcing them on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever, where do you go to Twitter first to see if you can reach out to them?
I do. Twitter's usually my first place to go. LinkedIn would be my second. For me, LinkedIn, there's not a whole lot of engagement, communication going on. Even in the groups that I'm a member of, there's not a whole lot of, I guess, just communication back and forth, just kind of keeping that candidate community built there. So for that, it's usually LinkedIn's probably my second way to search. Twitter's usually my first. I'll usually have some kind of list started with certain types of positions that I could go and start reaching out to people.
So remind me what level of roles they were again?
Area positions down.
Okay, so through store staff and everything.
Yeah, from store staff all the way up to your area type positions, tech, human resource management, operations, that type of thing.
So I'm surprised I'm not hearing Facebook.
You know, I use Facebook. Not a whole lot.
Find you. I went looking for you and couldn't find you.
What kind of a
stalker am I?
I know. I have two profiles. I have a personal Facebook profile, and then I have a Lowe's recruiting profile.
Right.
And so that one's Lowe's Recruiter. If you search Lowe's Recruiter, you'll find me on Facebook. I know, but that's a profile I use for recruiting, and for that, it's a little bit different because I know since Facebook changed how we can search, which I really, really love. Yeah. It's easier to find individuals, but for the most part, not many reply back to my inbox messages or even a friend request.
You friend request people? No wonder they don't respond. Ew.
I do. I know. It's one of those times. Usually when I'm on Facebook, it's where I'm
I haven't friend requested. I mean, you know.
I know. But I'm hoping that, you know, my hope is that when I'm using it as a recruiter, that they can look at my profile and see what I do.
That's not about you. It's about what you can see.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. So, but for Facebook, I don't use a whole lot for recruiting. I will post positions in job boards that are on Facebook. But that's about it I do for Facebook.
Okay. So I completely agree with Steph, who's written over the side about having separate accounts. I actually don't agree.
I don't.
I believe that you should be no, but you lock your profile down. You know, on the desktop, right, head to the padlock, lock everything down, give it an order, untag yourself from crap photos, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I think it's more authentic if people can see who you are.
I know.
I'm answering your why. Here comes your why. But also because I think it's that, you know, they get that insight into who you are as a human being because you are the front door to the company all the time. But also I think with the new message request that's coming through, it's being rolled out now. I think that's really exciting. But what you have to do is make sure you put it all on one line. Whereas, you know, I'm old school, so I'll write Dear Audra, space, and then she won't see anything, she won't open it. Whereas if you get it all on one line and it's not spammy, it's all about them, they'll be inclined to open and read, and I think that will increase the response rate. But it's something like 890 million Messenger users. So I think it's quite exciting. Oh, sorry, Steph. Is this your colleague?
We've met. I met Steph through Twitter.
Oh,
and
cool.
We've called and talked about Snapchat.
What's Steph do? Steph, tell us what you do. I can't click in because I click in, I'm scared I'm going to blow it up.
I know.
Every time I do a GIF, it just dies. They should offer a paid service. So
one day. But yeah, for Facebook, I don't use a whole lot for recruiting.
I'm stunned.
LinkedIn. I know.
The groups are amazing. I love the
groups.
They
really are. They really are because I'm a member of groups and I'm active in the groups I'm a member of. But as far as using it for recruiting, I haven't quite leveraged it yet. And that's probably one thing I know I need to work on.
Yeah. I always just rattle off the stats. 1.55 billion users, 1.05 billion on there every single day.
I know. Well, that's me with Snapchat. It's got 6 billion video views a day.
Yeah.
So I mean that just tells you where Snapchat is going. It's second to Facebook. I mean, that's pretty good.
No.
Or
no, Instagram is second.
After Instagram.
Yeah.
Sorry. After Instagram.
Yeah. But if you look at all the people who choose just one, which is something like 84% of internet users, it's like quite an incredible number, or social media users. They just choose Facebook. So, or a Facebook service. So it's, yeah. I think it's time. It's time to embrace it.
I know.
I'm a fan. And obviously you could use something like Career Arc and put your jobs tab on your career page, your Facebook career page.
Yeah.
As well.
We'll get there. Of course, our career side has only been on Facebook I think 2 months ago is when they got their Facebook page.
I actually don't agree. Oh, sorry, Audra, I just cut you off. I don't agree with Facebook career pages. I think that you should use something like Career Arc to add the jobs tab. And the reason is, if you and I are Facebook friends and you're my boss, and I go and like Audra's career page, my boss sees that, I get fired. So it's like, I'm being melodramatic, but I'm allowed. I'm Australian, but it's that you've got to be aware of job seekers will be a little bit paranoid about that. So even though I love Marriott Careers job page, for example, because they do it so well, it's like, if I go and like that, who's going to see it? Whereas if it's the Lowe's page with the ability to see the jobs, and it's mostly about just general insight into the company and the people.
Yeah, and they've separated them completely, where there's the Lowe's brand and there's the Lowe's career brand.
Yeah.
So they're completely separate.
The hard thing is if marketing doesn't want any career content at all on their page, which is really common, you're stuck.
Exactly. And we have to go through marketing to get our brand out there, our career brand out there.
Right.
So it's frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's a good option if you just can't get through to marketing and you want to put content out there. Right.
Yeah.
It's frustrating when they do that because, like, you want to know who you're buying from. You want to know who the people are. It's all a people game, whether you're a consumer or you're, looking to go and work for a company.
Right.
So,
right.
Was that a GIF? Oh no! What did that look like?
I skipped the GIF. I skipped the GIF because I feel like I'm in stop motion right now.
I didn't know you could skip it.
Yeah, you just don't let it generate.
I'm not hitting the button every time I do that. I blow it up. Oh, Steph, I was just pulling your face right as you did that. Oh, no. Yeah, we haven't done one of our intentional. We're acting like children.
Something good to do.
So have you stayed busy right through the holiday period, as you guys like to call it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's this common misconception, isn't there, that people stop looking?
No, I hate that idea, that mindset that during the holidays is when you either, as a job seeker, you slow down on your search, or as a recruiter, you slow down on what you're recruiting for. And for us, especially because our seasonal time starts in January, because we are a spring company. That's where we get most of our sales at. So that's when we hire the most individuals, is starting in January. So for us, I'm prepping now to start our new ads, our new strategy for January, starting January 1st.
Wow. So how many people have you got? Oh, you're looking for at the minute?
Right now I have 75 recs as of this morning. So
how do you have time to do that and all the social media stuff that you do?
I know. Let me just say, I am super, super, super organized. So I know this, on Monday, I'll plan my week. So I know what days I'm focused on what. I use some automation for, some of the social media side, but I only automate if I'm available to respond back to what's been automated. So Mondays are spent just planning my week out so that I can do the fun things like Blab or be on Twitter chats or something like that.
Yeah. When you say automate,
yes.
Explain. I mean, I know what you mean, but which bit do you automate?
Well, for Twitter, I usually automate about 8 tweets a day, which are a combination of things I've read that I want to share,
Yeah.
And I will say, everything I share on Twitter, I've read through, just because people will sometimes respond. I want to be able to know, have a conversation about that. So tweets on Twitter, as well as some job postings, are automated. Just we have contracts with all these career virtual job boards. So as soon as I post a position, it's automated out there, as well as posted to our some of our social media sites.
Do you use like Buffer, or who do you use?
I believe our company uses Buffer, if I remember right.
I love Buffer.
I know. They're an awesome team.
But their latest thing where you go to schedule a post and you can click and grab the photo. So it used to be right-click and you could do it, but now it's there. So you can, oh my God, your tweets just stand out a mile. It's just, I love it. Yeah, and then if you do that sneaky thing I taught Audra the other day to use Bitly instead of the Buffer, so people don't even know you're scheduling. It's like,
I know. I know. And that's what I have to do too. I don't like using just the shortened link that they automatically provide.
Yeah.
Easy to switch it. I'll show you how. Or Katrina.
Okay.
The thing I don't like about Buffer is you still can't tag people in photos, unless I'm wrong.
I haven't noticed that.
I don't like that anyway, because I'm constantly getting tagged and stuff. And it's like, why have you tagged me in this?
I know.
Somebody's selling me something. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it's useful for the right purposes.
I always seem to be on the receiving end of the wrong purposes. But I mean, we've got that future one coming up with Madeline to sort all that out, thank goodness. But I mean, I'm glad that you said it's things like sharing great content and stuff you're interested in. I assume it's job search advice and information about the company, which is great.
Yeah.
I always get concerned when I see those sort of automatic, like the community, whatever it's called. Like, oh, I've got this many new followers and this many unfollowers, or thanks for being part of my community.
Yes, I have to say that drives me insane. Yeah. I get tagged for being the most top engaged in someone's community, and I don't remember ever engaging with this individual.
Yeah, me too.
I have no idea. I have no idea how they get those stats to be able to put that out there. But
why do they find it useful? I don't get it.
I don't either. Thank me by just saying, "Hey, at Jose Watts, thanks for, I don't know, engaging with me during this Twitter chat or whatever." That's more authentic than using that application.
Odd, very odd. But that's where I don't think it's good. And actually, the other one I really hate is there's it's IFT, isn't it? If this, then that hack where if you use a hashtag, you'll get put on a list. Yeah. Someone had one set up for social recruiting, which I use all the time. So I was constantly getting notifications. I was being put on a list. It was like, I could write a book of all the ways to not use Twitter. That would be longer than all the ways to use Twitter.
You're probably right.
Oh, we've got a question. Da-da-da. I'll let Audra read it out because I'm talking too much.
If I understand it, it says, Jose, does your company marketing prepped TA on Brandon's message? Who's Brandon?
Oh, Brandon.
Autocorrect.
Oh, Brandon.
Is your company marketing prep talent acquisition, I guess? On Brandon's messages or any communication. Oh, TA. What's TA?
Is that talent acquisition? Okay.
Yeah. So is there training for social media?
Very little.
Yeah.
Very, very, very little. And it's one of those things I wish more of not only just the recruiters, but any other individuals who are on social media who have Lowe's somehow represented on their profile, whether it's in their description or whatever. I wish we could all find a way to get some kind of training going so we all carry the same voice, the same tone, so we're not contradicting what brand has been built already.
Yeah. I know a great person who does training on that.
Are you now?
That's what I do. But what I do is I teach the three. So to me, if you don't get the social sourcing piece, so that digging in, finding them and like you said, creating your lists. So if you don't get that piece in line with the employer branding, which is Audra's piece, that sharing great content and attracting people to you with the stuff you're sharing, that and then the occasional job post, if you don't get those three in balance, to me it doesn't work. And I just think it's becoming even more crucial. And actually I'd even say the employer branding, it's really personal, really people to people game. So I teach those three, and it's all about as much as possible the first two, just occasionally a job, so that you're known, liked and trusted in your community, so that when you do share something, they'll pass it on.
Absolutely.
So to me, that's really crucial. There's too much of just praying, oh, I'll just sort of put stuff out and people will just randomly see it. Well, it doesn't work like that now because it's so noisy. It's so noisy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, hence we've started our blab as sort of like another, it's easier for people to just listen to or watch on the way home or amongst all of the noise that's out there. So,
yeah, I think that's why I moved away from using our company logo as my profile. Cause that's what, when I started, they said, here's the image you'll use for your accounts. And I did that at first, but there was so little engagement.
Yeah.
And so once I got approval to use to rebrand it to where I'm combining my personal brand with Lowe's, it was, I mean, leaps and bounds better, where people now knew they were actually talking to someone when they were engaging with me on Twitter. It wasn't just a brand who had a team of 50 people trying to keep up with all the information going on Twitter.
But if you find someone on LinkedIn, it's your personal profile that you use to get in touch with them. If you phone someone, it's your voice on the end of the phone. It's you, the human being. It's like, why do we suddenly go to Twitter and go, oh, I've got to be a logo? Huh?
Right.
I won't even follow logos back. If I don't know who it is, I don't even follow them. They get put on a list. I'll stick them on one of my software, whatever. But please be a human being with me, or if you'd like to be followed back.
Exactly. And it's so simple, such a simple thing. Just to get out there and represent your brand. We're all extensions of our brands. We're all recruiting ambassadors, essentially, whether you're in the recruiting side or not. So just using your profile to engage with the communities that you're already active in. I mean, that's just another way to sell the company you work for.
Yeah. But also you will attract people based on you. Whether you're talking to them on the telephone or whether you're tweeting or whether you're Snapchatting or whatever you're doing. I do love this. Have you seen this over the side, Audra? At Ember Studio, I'm guilty of that. See, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, there's a big logo.
It's like, who are you? We want to know. Please write who you are. But yeah, I just think it's a people game, and any side of it. Mm-hmm. Again, going back to the selling, your products. I don't walk into your stores and expect to deal with a logo. Right. Why would I suddenly want to do that when I'm trying to come and work for you?
Exactly.
So,
are your other recruiters on Twitter, or are you kind of cutting edge?
I am the only active recruiter on Twitter, is what I would say. I have a list that I keep for everybody to see who the other recruiters that I know are on Twitter. But they might as well not be on Twitter. I'll be honest. It's frustrating because, it's such a huge platform. The engagement can be high. Great opportunities that they see, even as little as they do use it. But they just don't use it enough. They don't leverage it as good as we should.
Is it because they don't understand it? I mean, it's weird. It does take some time to get your head around.
And I think that's the thing. They know how to tweet. They'll put information out there. It's just as far as learning how to actually engage with people who are engaging with what you're putting out there. That's the part that's a struggle that I see.
Also, they have 75 open recs. Like that would scare me. I wouldn't.
It is. And some of them are, I say that, but some of them are for like our hourly positions. With certain positions, we know fill themselves. We put them out there, and for whatever reason, they feel they can have 20 candidates overnight. And so we know certain positions we don't give as much effort to, but so say I'm 75 recs, there's probably 60 or so that I'm going to concentrate on.
Still a lot.
It's still a lot. 60. I know. It's still a lot, I have to say. But
do you use, I know you've talked about your Twitter list, but do you have any sort of CRM as well? Like even if it was just MailChimp, going back to, because you must have people apply who aren't necessarily right there and then, but are right in a year's time.
Right. And I wish we did have a platform that we used for that. I would love that. I've seen so many of them, but right now I have Excel spreadsheets. It's so sad. Wow. So sad. And they're so long. We're talking 300 to 400 people on this that I try to keep up with. And with Excel's great. There's only so much you can do with that.
Well, because you can't exactly just send them all an email.
No.
With the click of a button.
No, it's me scrolling through them like, okay, it says I haven't reached out to this person in about 6 months. I guess I better send them a quick email or say hello on Twitter or something.
Whereas you could have that almost automated.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Dare I say that word?
Enough to, at least to a point where I don't have to manually do it all myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But at least you're making the effort. That's good.
Yeah. And I try to keep this community of candidates, this candidate pool, even though they're maybe not interested in working right now, or maybe not interested in working in the future as far as what they say now. But my goal is just to keep up these lines of communication with them.
But you don't know who they're sitting next to.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think so powerful about social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I always give the example of my friend Doris, who lives at 79, who is nowhere to be seen on social media. But I know she's a really good science teacher. So if somebody happened to say that out there and I heard it, I'd be like, okay, sure, Doris, here's a mobile number.
Right.
Cell number, as you guys would call it. But it's that we all have a network of people that we know and that we know well. Right. That we're keeping in touch with. So it's getting to them, that known, liked, and trusted thing. That
exactly. Because if I like them, most likely I'll like someone else they may know who they believe is a great, they may be happy with their position they're in and they don't want to leave. And if you're happy, I'd never ask you to leave the position you're at. But they might know someone, hey, my friend here does what I do. I think they'd be great for this position.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what about, sorry, Audra, go.
I was just curious, did you kind of fall into recruitment, or did you know that's what you wanted to do, or how did you decide?
No, recruitment found me. My background is in bilingual education. I was doing research at a university and doing my master's, finishing it. In lieu of going to classes, I was doing this huge research project for a university. I was looking for an evening position. I went to my local Lowe's store to see if they had any positions open for the evening. While there, I happened to meet a area human resource manager, which I didn't know that's who she was at the time when I started talking to her. We got in this conversation. She was asking kind of what I did, which I recruit in a way for this research project where I'd find campuses with the right demographics and convince the school boards to allow us to come in and work on this research project on their campus. So I kind of did some recruiting and kind of talked to her about that. She talked about this position, and I said, you know what, I'll give it a go. Fell in love with it. Love recruiting.
So what's the other language?
Spanish.
So that might help your recruitment, I would imagine.
Yeah, especially here in Texas and New Mexico, where second to English, Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Very handy.
Yeah, it worked out nicely.
Okay.
Well, I don't think anyone plans to go into recruitment.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get in, Audra? I don't know how you got in.
I fell into avoid a layoff.
See? Another fall into it.
Yeah. I didn't even know what recruiting was. When they talked to me about, do you, are you interested in being a recruiter with this position? I said, sure. And I had to go home and research. What does a recruiter do exactly? And then
graduate. Why is that not a degree? I don't understand.
I don't either. Because I think that's something I would have sparked my interest, especially when you throw in the social recruiting aspects of it. I think that would have sparked it.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, but social recruiting is still so new.
Yeah, it really is.
I started this in 2009 and I still get people saying, we're just dipping our toes in the water, which of course, I'm like 6 years later, are you for real?
Yeah.
But, it's still so new. So that's probably why. And there are still companies that are so scared of the backlash.
No, I'm saying why isn't, if there was a degree, you could graduate, to be a recruiter, then there could be a class that's like social media, but yeah. Just a recruiter, there's no education for it.
Yeah, it's all human resources.
Yeah. When you think about the fact that the people are what makes the company and the recruiter's job is so important, it's insane that there isn't anything like that.
Yeah, and even the training for recruiting. I started, I got a week's worth of training, which is pretty much how to manage the applicant tracking system. And that was it.
Wow.
Then they said, here you go. So, I spent probably the first 6 months attending any course I could online to figure out how to recruit, go into classes that I could find at universities or the local SHRM was given out that could give me some kind of insight on exactly what to do as a recruiter.
What online classes are there? Is there?
Yeah, I did Hootsuite for understanding social media because I did it. So I did Hootsuite for understanding social media, and then I found another one for a sourcing. I want to say it's.
Wait, watch what you say. Mine, obviously.
Obviously, it wasn't.
Yeah, obviously. No, talking about competitors that are out there, the few that I have. But there is, I mean, to be honest, there is so much that can be found with just a little bit of research. There's some brilliant blogs around, and
just asking.
Being inquisitive, and I think that's probably the best skill for a recruiter to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
so we got. Oh yeah, you've answered it, haven't you? They got Mike speaking. So we are coming to the final few minutes already. Can you believe? That went fast.
Ooh.
So what's your number one thing that you are going to do better next year, other than get a CRM?
Yes, we'll work on that.
Yeah,
we'll work on that. But
what's your number one thing though?
I think communication. I think that's the one that I feel like I'm continually working on getting my communication better, to finding different ways to communicate on how my candidates use. If they're on Twitter, that's where I want to be. That's how I want. If that's how they are most engaged on, that's how I want to communicate with them. If they happen to be on LinkedIn, I'm there. Let's talk on LinkedIn. However, whatever platform or tool they need is where I want to be. So I think communication is a skill that I'm going to be working on continually through next year.
Love it.
Yeah, good for taking the time when you are so busy. I think that's amazing. I think you're going to go really far.
Yeah. Here's to hoping. We're going on 2 years in March. So.
Awesome.
Oh, you're such a baby recruiter.
I know. I'm still jaded is what I'm told.
I started late though, so I've only got 10 years. So I started late. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm absolutely loving that. Communication is key. And I just think it's going to become more key. So
yeah, I will. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of communicating, I had to remember to say that we have Kuz Werza on next week. I probably said that incorrectly. He'll pick me up on that next week. He's actually another corporate recruiter for Danone, who I always think of them as yogurt. Do you know or yogurt, as you guys say it? So, but we're going to talk a bit more about the obstacles to recruiting on social media as well. So I'm quite excited.
Oh, awesome! That sounds good.
Yeah. So Happy New Year! Can you believe it? I'm a little bit closer than you guys.
Oh, that's
cool. Yeah. We've got no snow happening. Do we have snow happening today?
Yeah. We had snow. We had 11 inches of snow in West Texas.
No, it was the snow on the side. Is it working? Just made it snow. Yeah, so I want fireworks.
Not fun.
That's
you weren't here last week. You missed it. You were on the GIF. You do /snow. And out it comes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be done. Anyway, thank you again so much.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Have a fantastic new year.
Y'all too. Y'all do the same.
Yeah, and make sure you pop back to our blab. Now you've been on one, doesn't mean you can't come back.
Yeah, I'll be back. Absolutely.
Yay. Take care, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.